We have Manon Fiorot versus Erin Blanchfield, Fight Night Atlantic City this weekend, and I'm here to give my predictions, who I think will win, how I think people will win, and my reasoning behind it. Let's get into it. The first fight we have opening the card is Cowlin Loughran versus Angel Pacheco. Loughran, the Irish guy, one fight in the UFC. You've got Pacheco, who's coming off Contender Series. Uh, no UFC experience. I am just inclined to go with Loughran here. I'm solely going Loughran because he's a grappling guy. He's very grappling heavy. I just see him in the first round getting Angel Pacheco down, just beating the shit out of him, kind of ways. He works for takedowns the entire fight. Loughran's first fight was against Taylor Lapilus in Paris, which I mean that's fucking stress, bro. You have to face a fucking French dude in France on your first UFC fight. I understand why he could have lost that. Why the nerves may have gotten him to. Why the nerves may have gotten to him in that fight, but you know, Pacheco coming off actually a loss on the Contender Series, which is strange because he had a war on the Contender Series that got him his contract. That doesn't feed me with a lot of hope for this guy. I'm gonna be honest. Loughran, he's just gonna take him down through Pacheco fighting inside range. He's gonna fight close to Loughran. He's gonna fucking fight inside like close areas, and Loughran's just gonna have so many opportunities to take him down. Uh, you know, I've got Loughran round one, ground and pound. I don't think he'll get the submission. I just think he's gonna take him down. He's gonna beat the shit out of him in the first round. Next, we've got Andre Petroski versus Jacob Malkoun. These guys are practically clones of each other. They are both wrestling heavy. They're both boring as shit. However, Malkoun is a fucking small ass middleweight. He's 5'9". I just think Petroski's gonna have more strength in the grappling exchanges in this fight. Petroski, however, is coming off an absolute murdering he took from Michel Pereira, where he just got absolutely fucking smoked. And Malkoun coming off a disqualification, technically a disqualification, against I don't know who it was against, but it was against someone. But he was dominating that fight too, so it's kind of a shame that it was against Cody Brundage. Cody Brundage. He was dominating that fight. It's a shame that he hit him in the back of the head, man. Is what it is. But I just think these guys are gonna. This is gonna be a shit fight. This is gonna be a really shit fight because these guys are clones of each other. We're just gonna watch grappling. We're just gonna watch people lying on each other. I do, however, have Andre Petroski winning this fight. I have him winning by unanimous decision. I think he's gonna get him down in the first two rounds, and then third round he'll slow and Malkoun will win. So a shout could be a draw. That's my wild pick. This could be a draw. Malkoun 10-8 third round, but I've got Petroski winning 1 and 2, 10-9, and then Malkoun winning the last round comfortably after Andre gasses from all the fucking holding he does. But yeah, I've got Petroski winning round 1, 2. I've got Malkoun winning 3 clearly. And I've got 29-28. Andre Petroski, unanimous decision in a boring ass fight. Next, we've got the first women's fight now. We've got Victoria Dudikova against Melissa Gatto. I think Dudikova holds a grappling advantage in this one, even though in her last fight against Jinya Frey, she didn't really use it. She kind of just struck on the feet against Jinya Frey, which makes fucking no sense. But, you know, women's MMA, man. This shit is ass. It's always terrible. So that's my one worry is I think Dudikova needs to grapple in this fight because Gato has been susceptible to getting takedown in fights. She has been controlled in previous fights. The fight I can date back to her getting controlled in was Sierra Eubanks. But she won that fight, so hey man. But she did get controlled in that fight. I think Dudikova could use a grappling advantage in this fight to win this easily. But she might not, because we're idiots in this fucking women's division. In every women's division, we just fight like fucking idiots. So what's gonna happen probably? Dudikova's gonna strike with it. She's gonna get knocked the fuck out. But hey man, I'm gonna go Dudikova, round 3 rear naked choke. I'm going specific on this one because I've done my research. Dudikova has 3 submission wins by rear naked choke in her career in I think 8 total fights. So it's a lot of her a lot of her wins in her career being rear naked choke. I just think she's gonna wear on her with the grappling. I think late finish because she probably won't do shit the first 2 rounds. She'll probably just allow her the first 2 rounds, and then third round she'll get her back, rear naked choke. Once Gato's tired from all the wrestling exchanges. Gato does, however, also have a submission threat. She has 4 sub wins in her career, so there's potential for Dudakova to take her down in those first 2 rounds. Where I'm saying she's just gonna hold her, and then Gato just absolutely fucking lands like a random triangle. There's hope in that, but Dudakova also very young fighter coming up. I think there's a lot of growth potential here. I just see Dudakova controlling this fight. I see her getting the submission in round 3. It could very well just be a boring unanimous decision, 30-27 Dudakova. But I'm going to stick with rear naked choke because I've done my research. You know me. Dudakova, rear naked choke. I pray if I get this right, I'm the fucking goat. Next, we've actually got a rematch from the independent scene. We've got Ibo Arslan versus Anton Turkalji. Turkalji actually won the first fight by, I think it was a submission. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure it was a submission. But I see this fight going completely differently. I really liked Aslan's performance on the Contender Series, which obviously this is his UFC debut. In a fight he's lost is going to really test him this fight. But he had a nice knockout coming off the Contender Series. I like his striking. He mixes his striking up very nicely. Throws a lot of kicks. Throws a lot of, mixes up strikes. He'll go body. He'll go head. He's a nice striker to have in this division. And Turkalji, the reason I just don't trust him to win this, even though he's beaten this guy before, he's got enrolled in the UFC. This brother has been fucked constantly. He's been fucked 3 fights in a row. He got Jalton Almeida in his first fight, got rolled. Then he fought someone else, got rolled. Fought someone else, got fucking rolled. He's just getting rolled. I just see Ibo Aslan's power just cracking Aslan. Cracking Turkalji. But Turkalji got fucking smoked by Tyson Pedro in his last fight. And Tyson Pedro hit or miss. I just don't think Turkalji can currently take the power that Aslan's got with the amount of damage he's been taking in his last fights. I just don't see it. Turkalji, he's gonna get cut. If he loses this, he's cut. I mean, it's over. So it's over for him, man. Because Aslan has the power advantage. He's got the striking advantage to me, and he's just better on the feet. He's way better on the feet. The only chance Turkalj has is if he can take Aslan to the later rounds and wear on him. Because I don't think Aslan has been tested much in cardio, which worries me. Because he could, first round, just come out, absolutely roll Turkalj, and then Turkalj survives, rolls him in the second and third, just wrestle fucks him. But I just don't think Turkalj is a good fighter at all. He's not good anyway. He's bad on the feet. He's mid in grappling. I just don't see how he wins this. I think Ibo Aslan handles this. I've got Aslan round 1 KO. I think he's just going to land a beautiful shot, rock Turkalj. It's over. GG. Ibo Aslan, debut win for him. I see it happening. The next fight we've got is Denis Buzukja versus Conor Matthews. I've never seen Conor Matthews fight, but I know Denis Buzukja is fucking shit. I've watched this guy fight. He is terrible. He got fucking destroyed in his last fight. Absolutely rolled. He fought Sean Woodson. Just looked terrible. This guy fights out of the Aljamain Sterling, the Ray Longo gym with Aljamain Sterling and Marabla Villashvili. And he's fucking terrible. He's really bad. I think he's going to lose this, clearly. Coming off 2 losses, his confidence going to be in the dumps. Conor Matthews, a guy coming off Contender Series win. He looked decent in that win. I did sort of watch that fight a little bit. I went through a little bit of tape on that fight. He looked decent. He got the win. He's in the UFC. He wouldn't have a contract if he didn't have a good win in that fight. Buzukja also has sus cardio. I think this guy... I remember a fight where I think it was the Woodson fight. It might not have been. But he literally, the first round, he looked fine. Second round, gassed. Third round, gassed. This guy has a sus fucking gas tank. He's terrible. He's you know, I don't know how. There's a lot of guys who train in this Ray Longo gym who are just mid as fuck, who are cans, you know. But hey, man, he'll get cut off to this one. Don't worry. Matthews obviously will have that pressure of it being his UFC debut, but I just see him beating Dennis Bazukcha. They're both kind of terrible, but I'll go Connor Matthews by UD. Fuck it, why not, dude? I just don't rate Bazukcha, and I haven't seen Matthews fight, so let's trust the guy I know might not suck, but he does suck. Fuck it, man. Connor Matthews, UD. Next, we've got a pretty interesting fight. We've got Julio Ars versus Herbert Burns. I'm instantly just gonna state this. Burns is not winning this fucking fight. This guy is a quitter. He has a literally negative cardio. If you guys watched his fight against Algio, oh my fucking god. I think he pulled a triangle and then he just gassed instantly. He gets a triangle, he doesn't get the triangle, and then he just fucking full gas and he gave up. Like, he's fucking terrible. Get this, bro. I don't know how you can be related to Gilbert Burns and be such a fucking bitch, but beats me, man. Burns does, however, have a height and reach advantage that he's not going to use because he's a fucking grappler. Woohoo! Great height and reach advantage, dude. Ha! I'm just going to take you down and gas in 3 seconds. That's so good for my reach and height. Woohoo! He's losing this. Julio Ars, another thing I actually noticed in his record, he constantly wins, loses, wins, loses, wins, loses. And he lost his last fight. So I'm fucking, I believe in the Julio Ars fucking not breaking that streak, and he's gonna win, lose, win, lose, win. And then I need to remember that he's losing his next fight. But this could go the distance. Julio Ars, I don't think he's like really a finishing guy. He's more of a decision guy. He has a lot of UFC rounds under his belt, a lot of UFC experience under his belt. He's been in the UFC for a long time. And he's only lost once by submission in his career. Herbert Burns, his only chance is submitting him in the first round, which he won't do because Ars is not going to get submitted in the first round. And then, so Herbert Burns will probably win the first round, and then Ars will just destroy him in the next two. I could see a 29-27. UD, Julio Ars. Easy peasy. Julio Ars, get Herbert Burns out. Get him out of the UFC. Fuck Herbert Burns. Easy win for Julio Ars. Next, we have Verna Jandiroba versus Lupita Godinez. I think this is going to be a close fight. This is good matchmaking. These are both good fighters. I think this is a really good test for Lupita Godinez, who is obviously a young fighter coming up in this division. Jandiroba coming off a win against Marina Rodriguez, which, I mean, that's a big win to have on your record, even if she's been sort of declining of recent. I still think that's a really good win to have on your record. I pretty much, my thinking behind this fight is if Jandiroba can get it down, she wins. If Lupita can keep it on the feet, she wins. That's pretty much it. And I see Jandiroba getting her down in 2 of the rounds, which means I wanted to say UD 29-28, but I'm kind of feeling a split decision. I'm going to say Lupita first round, wins the striking exchanges in the first 2 minutes or so, and then Jandiroba gets it down, just holds it there, does no fucking damage. Second round, Godinez will probably just stay on the feet, win that round clearly, and then third round we'll have Jandiroba just take her down, Godinez tires, Jandiroba gets a takedown early, holds that round. So I think it'll be a clear 1-1, and then there'll be a split round where the judges will be a bit conflicted, but I'm gonna go Jandiroba split decision, which is sketch, because if my reasoning is true, I'll probably go with damage, which would mean Godinez wins. But I'm gonna go Jandiroba split decision. Nothing usually makes sense in this women's division, so fuck it, man. Jandiroba split decision. She's gonna grapple her. She's gonna win the grappling exchanges. She'll get takedowns that will win rounds. She'll get takedowns towards the end of rounds that will win her this fight, and this is going to be a decision. These women are both decision machines. Women's MMA, usually just mainly decisions you see in high-level fights. So I'm going Jandiroba split decision. Could go either way, but I'm going to stick with Jandiroba. The next fight we have is Nate the Train! Nate Landwehr versus Jamal Emmers. This is actually a really interesting fight to predict. I think Emmers has a big reach advantage on Nate Landwehr, and Nate Landwehr often fights close ranges. So I think if Amos can keep that range that he has and use his reach very well, he can win this fight by probably TKO first round. But the thing with Amos is has a bunch of reach, but he blitzes in a shit ton in his fights. You'll see it. He blitzes in a lot. He pressures early in the fights, and I don't think that's gonna work against Nate Landwehr. I think Nate Landwehr's inside striking and pressure will. These guys are both pressure fighters, but I think Nate Landwehr's inside striking is gonna win him this fight. I think Emmers will blitz in early in the fight. Nate the Train, boom, will just land a big shot. I've got Nate Landwehr TKO round one. It could be where he drops him in the first round and then he goes to a submission on the ground. But I just think that one hole in Emma's game where he blitzes in too much as a tall guy, I think that's going to come back to bite him. And I just see Nate Landwehr landing a shot that TKOs Jamal Emmers in the first round. That's my prediction. The next fight we have is Chidi Njokuani versus Rice McKee. I want to fucking beef with the UFC over this fight. UFC, how is this fight on the main card? How have you put this fight as the opener on the main card? I don't get it. These guys are both like on losing streaks. They are both on losing streaks. I don't get it. Njokuani coming down from middleweight. He's a tall middleweight too. He's a pretty big middleweight. I don't know how the fuck he's making this weight, but hey man, whatever. Njokuani's on a 3-fight win, not win streak. Fuck, a 3-fight losing streak in the middleweight division. And McKee has had 2 UFC stints. He's never won a UFC fight. He's lost all 3 of his UFC fights in 2 stints. I just don't understand why these guys are on the main card. You could have Nate Landwehr versus Jamal Emmers open this card. I don't get it, but okay. They just don't want viewers for fight nights, you know? Okay. I personally I don't see Njokuani winning this. I think Rice McKee's going to win a boring-ass decision, probably. I think Chidi Njokuani, he's pretty explosive. He's got quite hard, like, heavy hands. But I don't understand how he's going to make this welterweight division without being, like, somewhat crippled. I checked this. I fact-checked this. He has missed middleweight by 5 pounds before. He's weighed in 190 pounds for a middleweight fight before. How the fuck is this guy making welterweight? In what universe is this guy making welterweight? I think he's like 6'2". Like, he's a big middleweight. I don't know how he's making welterweight. But I just think he's going to be gassed because of bad cut. He'll probably do well in the first round. If he can catch Rice McKee in the first round, he could get the win. But he'll probably have a decent first round, come out explosive, come out wanting to save his UFC career. Because if he loses this, he's 100% cut. I just don't see it. I think Rice McKee will hold him. Like, he'll just... Rice McKee will just win a boring-ass fucking fight off the Chidi Njokuani gases from cutting 100 million pounds that he can't cut. You know? That's what I see. I think Rice McKee, unanimous decision, probably 29-28. All odds. I've got Rice McKee. The next fight we have after those fucking shit cans is Bill Algeo vs Kyle Nelson. Bill Algeo coming off a big win against Alexander Hernandez in his last fight. But these guys are mainly decision fighters, so I'm inclined to believe this is going to be a decision. I'm pretty certain this is going to end up being a decision. I just think the difference is Bill Algeo has fought much better guys. He's been in the UFC for a little bit now. He arguably has a win against Andre Philly, but he lost. But it was a really close fight. He's arguably, going close with a guy like Andre Philly, who's actually a decent fighter, and getting a win over a guy like Alexander Hernandez. I think it shows that Bill Algeo is a good fighter to have. I think he's just a good fighter. And I just think Kyle Nelson's kind of fought shit cans in the UFC a little bit. He has 2 wins in the UFC. He's fought kind of shit fighters, I'm not going to lie. And I just see Algeo being a more well-rounded and better fighter in this fight. I think he's going to probably just 30-27 unanimous decision. That's what I see. Kyle Nelson, I've gotten back in his fights. This guy always lands 0 takedowns. He shoots takedowns and he lands 0 takedowns. I don't think he's as well-rounded as Bill Algeo. Bill Algeo actually gets takedowns. He's actually a decent striker. I rate Bill Algeo. Kyle Nelson, a bit untested with the quality of people he's fought. And I see Bill Algeo steamrolling him, kind of. 30-27, clear, unanimous decision, Bill Algeo. And now we get into the big fights on this card. We start with Nursultan Rizibov versus Cedriques Dumas. If anyone watched my last video, the Prospects video, I spoke about this fight. And I said my prediction in that fight. So I said my prediction on this fight. So if you watch that video, you already know my prediction. Uh, I'm gonna just name some facts quickly. Rozibov, he's a fucking giant. This guy is 6'5" in middleweight. Bro, go to heavyweight. What the fuck are you doing? A 6'5" middleweight. I didn't know you could be 6'5", 6'6", and not fight at least light heavyweight like Johnny Walker. It's not like Johnny Walker's fucking making middleweight, but we've got a Johnny Walker making middleweight, bro. Rozibov is massive. He had a great performance in his first fight. Great win, and that win has aged nicely. It was already a good win because it was against Bruno Ferreira, who absolutely knocked the fuck out of RoboCop. But also, Bruno Ferreira is small as shit. He's 5'10" at middleweight, compared to a 6'5" guy who was never winning that fight. But Cedric Dumas, the issue I have with picking him in this fight, he could very well win. I see a way for him to win. But the reason I'm not picking this guy, I cannot pick a guy who got smoked by Josh Fremd. I just can't. I physically cannot do it in my body. It's not happening. Cedric Dumas is also for kind of shit people, bro. He beat Cody Brunish by decision. Wow, he beat Azaitar by decision. Huge wins, dude. Like, he's kind of just fought cans since that Josh Fremd fight. So, I just don't see it. The only way I see Dumas winning this fight, Rozibov is a very first round guy. He gets many first round finishes, but his main losses, I think 6 out of 8 of his losses are decisions. It's worrying because most of his wins are not decisions. So it seems like if he goes decisions, he loses, which makes me think his cardio, drains towards the end of fights. So I think the way for Dumas to win this, survive the first round, grapple the fuck out of him in the second and third, just tire him out. Or grapple him in the second, beat the shit out of him in the third because he's gassed as fuck. I just don't see it. I've got Rozibov first round sub. I think he's going to easily just dominate Cedric Dumas. I think this could even be in the first 2 minutes that he gets the sub. I think he's going to instantly put pressure on him, just piece him, get the takedown, submit him. It could even be a submission from... I'm actually going to say it is going to be this. It's going to be a submission from a knockdown that he gets. I think he's going to land a clean right hand. Cedric Dumas goes down. He pulls a fucking submission. I'm going to say... We'll just go rear naked. That's the easiest one. Rear naked choke. He pulls rear naked choke. Gets the sub first round. Easy win against a can in Cedric Dumas. But you never know. The next fight we have is Chris Weidman versus Bruno Silva. I'm going to start this prediction with a plead. Chris Weidman, why the fuck are you still fighting? Are you stupid? You got your leg absolutely minced. You sat up for 2 years, and then you got rolled by Brad Tavares. What the fuck are you doing? Get home. Chill with your family, man. Stop doing this to yourself. He's an old withered man, and he's gonna get fucking rolled in this fight by Bruno Silva. Even though Bruno Silva got rolled by an absolute sped in fucking Magomed Sharipov. No, not bro. Wrong name. We are not he did not lose to Zabit. He fucking lost to oh my fucking word. What's his name? Shara Bullet, dude. He lost to Shara Bullet. My reasoning for picking Silva in this fight, Silva beat Brad Tavares, Weidman didn't. And Silva beat Brad Tavares handedly. So, I think Silva's better on the feet. I think he's got solid groundwork. I don't think Weidman's going to dominate him on the ground like he would if he would need to do if he would win, because there's no chance he wins on the feet here. Silva stood on the feet with Alex Pereira. I have hope in his stand-up. But, I just don't see Weidman winning. I don't see a way Weidman wins this fight. And he's 39 years old, dude. You know what happens when guys are on their way out of the UFC. They get knocked out spark. Besides Robbie Lawler. Everyone besides Robbie Lawler. But usually, they get knocked out spark. So I've got Bruno Silva KOing Chris Weidman in the second round. I think he's going to dominate the first round striking. Weidman's going to look like an absolute bloody mess in the first round, and then he's just going to KO him in the second round with probably a fucking overhand right, and Chris Weidman's career's over, which is good. Just retire, please. Pull out of this fight and retire. That's my prediction. And then we get on to the co-main event. Vicente Luque versus Joaquin Buckley. I honestly think this is a bit of a mismatch. I just think Vicente Luque is way better than Joaquin Buckley. Joaquin Buckley is a guy that's lost to Chris Curtis before. He's been finished by Chris Curtis. I don't care if he was at middleweight and he's a small ass guy. I don't care. If you get knocked out by Chris Curtis, I just don't rate you to beat Vicente Luque. I just don't see it. And Luque, after having a bit of a downward spiral, he's coming off a nice decision win, getting 5-4 rounds. Nice decision win against RDA. That was a good win for him. And Buckley has looked okay at welterweight. He got a nice win in his first fight, and then his fight against Morono was kind of just mid. But I just think Luque is better everywhere. I'm gonna be honest. I think Luque is better in striking. I think Luque is better on the ground. I don't see a way Buckley wins this fight. Maybe he lands like a random KO fucking blow. Who knows? But Luque is better on the ground. He's better on the feet, and he has way more experience. I just don't see how Buckley wins this fight. I've got an interesting prediction for this fight. I've got Luque by sub in the third round after dominating the shit out of Buckley in the first two. But I've got Luque's Darce choke arc returning. I have Luque getting Buckley down late. Oh, not late in the first round. I have him getting Buckley down early in the third round after just piecing him in the first two. Probably getting a takedown towards the end of the second round. And I think the Luque Darce arc is back. I've got Vicente Luque Darce choke submission round 3 against Joaquin Buckley in dominant fashion, and it'll boost Vicente Luque to fight to have more interesting fights in this division. You could see Luque against MVP. That'd be a sick fight to watch. I don't know if that's safe for Luque's health, but hey man, you could see him against someone like Sean Brady. You'll see him more at the top of this division after winning this fight because he's fighting a guy that's coming up now. So I think the UFC will give him someone who's decently ranked after this fight because he's fighting lower down. But I just see Luque domination. That's my prediction. And then we have the main event, the women's main event. Erin Blanchfield versus Manon Fiorot. This has potential to be a really boring decision. Manon Fiorot, known for decisions in the UFC. I don't think she's even looked like she was going to finish anyone. She's just had decisions. Blanchfield has more of that finishing prowess, I guess, but not even really. She's more of like, it's more submission threat than finishing threat because she could very well also just go decision, just hold her on the ground if she can't get submissions on Fiorot. This is both their first 5-round fight. So I think if it goes late in the fight, I might give an advantage to Blanchfield solely because she has that wrestling background, and I think you need a decent amount of cardio to wrestle like as high level and as much as she has done it, She's done it at a really high level when she was younger, so I just think I have reason to believe that she would have a cardio advantage, but I could be like way off, You never know. This is a classic striker versus grappler matchup. I mean, Blanchfield is clearly the better grappler. Fiorot is clearly the better striker, and it's just about if Fiorot can keep it on the feet, she'll win this fight. If Blanchfield can get Fiorot to the ground, she'll win this fight. I just think Blanchfield has the advantage just to win this fight. Fiorot, she hasn't really been tested in the grappling area, and when she has, she got taken down by Jennifer Maia. If Jennifer Maia can take you down, I have reason to believe Erin Blanchfield can take you down. Yeah, I just don't see how Fiorot can take down defense against Blanchfield's shots. I just don't see it. I just see Blanchfield wrestling her, absolutely destroying her. Maybe not destroying, but I think the first round you might see a close round. I think Blanchfield will constantly shoot. Fiorot might end up only getting taken down towards like the last minute of the fight. She might stay off of the first 4 and kind of just tap punch, feel it out. I'll give Fiorot first round, but second round I think Blanchfield's gonna come out. She's gonna take her down instantly, and she's gonna get the submission on her. I see Blanchfield takedown round 2. And I'm going to go a lot of rear naked chokes I'm predicting, but I'm going to go another rear naked choke for Erin Blanchfield. It could be like, we could see like a different submission, but I just think most people are I just think she's bound to get rear naked choke, you know? That's the submission I see. I think Blanchfield will throw the wrestling out in the first round. It might not work as well, but then second round, the wrestling will hit. She'll get her down, and she'll control her, get the back, rear naked choke. Erin Blanchfield goes on to fight for the title next after the fucking stupid fucking Grosso versus Shevchenko tough series. What an entertaining series that's gonna be. Woohoo! I'm so excited. I can't wait to watch that. Yay! No one's gonna fucking watch that. That's gonna get negative viewers, but you know, fuck it. Blanchfield will be next in line. Whoever wins this fight is 100% next in line. There's no way they aren't. But I just think Blanchfield. I think more often than not, you see the grapplers in grappler versus striking matchups get the win, and I see it happening again. Yeah, I just think Blanchfield is too skilled on the ground to not get Fiorot down, and that's why I see her winning. That is my prediction.